Hello, it's Larry from Blue Collar Nation, and I'm here with my spectacular business partner, Mr. Eric Sprague, the Tech Whisperer. How are you today, Eric?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm great, and we've got a wonderful interview today. I'm totally excited to get a totally different perspective. I'm looking forward to hearing from Dennis Hamon, who has a Zoom Drain franchise, and he also has a long background in plumbing. So, Dennis, how are you today?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Dennis is up in Seattle, and that's where what would you call it? Ground zero for the virus coming in this country.
Well, it sure was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, Dennis, I think what we're really interested in is we've had a lot of people on talking about different strategies and keeping your mindset good and all that. But most of the people that have been on haven't been in your situation where you're seeing it so close up. And I mean, you guys are kind of the test crash dummy for the rest of us in a way, because
Yeah.
you're having to figure it out from scratch. So I was really wanting to have you on so that we could hear maybe the things that went well and the things that didn't go well. And that kind of gives guys in our industry maybe a glimpse into the future if it hits their area like it hit yours.
Sure.
So maybe just start out like what happened when this was all going on for you? Like how did it kind of come to be?
Yeah. So I'm having a hard time remembering actually. It seems like so long ago. I think it was maybe a month ago. We had a Monday and a Tuesday where we were down. Literally, we only had 20% of the calls that we had. So if we would have had 100 calls, we only had 20 calls a day for 2 days. So Monday, so we had a bang in February and the weekend, and then it happened over the weekend. The news hit, the scares started, found out that Costco was overflowing with customers. There were lines out, and we're like, what is going on? And my service manager called me and said, hey, I'm at Costco, and you will not believe this. It's worse than Thanksgiving, And so that happened Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It was like the lights went out as far as business.
Because the news hit and everybody was just kind of in a state of panic.
Yeah. Freaking out. Toilet paper. That's when the first news about toilet paper happened. It's like, what are you talking about? Toilet paper. And so Monday, Tuesday happened. And so for us, Wednesday morning is our service meeting. And so we address it Wednesday morning.
So then what action did you take? So you're down 80% on calls for a couple of days. So what was your mindset like, okay, what do we have to do? And then what happened?
So we were blindsided in 2008 by the recession. We were younger. We had no idea about what that meant. And that hit us. We had the best month ever. We had the best year ever. And then we got hit upside the head and got through that. So when this happened, we always knew how we would operate. And so my partner, Kimberly, and I were on the same page. As soon as Monday was slow and then Tuesday was slow, we were like, this is real. And we only had a 5-minute discussion. We like, hey, we're going to cut hard and fast, right? Yep. And she takes care of the office. I take care of the field. And so Wednesday morning, we just addressed it with the whole crew. We were very assertive. Told them what was going on, that we'd been here before. I said, things are way different. There's not an abundance of calls anymore. Now every call counts. People were never having plumbers out for fun, but now they really aren't.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no reason not to sell something. And there's no more blow and go concept. It's like, this call sucks. I'm going to go to another call. Like, you know how it gets when there's an abundance of calls.
Yeah. You start cherry picking.
Yeah. So I'm like, guys, it's completely different. It's changed. I go, trust me, my mind is completely different. I am thinking a completely different way, and you just switch gears fast. I use a bicycle analogy. In the Tour de France, when you're cruising along the lake and then all of a sudden you hit the bottom of the Alpe d'Huez and going uphill, if you don't switch gears and or stand up, you're going to fall over and crash.
Right.
And you can't bitch about the hill. The hill's in front of you, right? Like, you just got to buckle down and go for it. You're going to go slower, and that's where legends are made, right?
Yeah,
Guys,
exactly.
well,
Exactly. Yeah.
legends are made. So I had that meeting with my whole crew Wednesday morning.
So did you actually have to cut some guys loose?
Yeah, so Thursday morning we cut our weakest tech, our weakest office person, and our weakest apprentice.
Okay. Yeah.
That was done on Thursday.
Sure. Yeah. And that's
And
painful.
then the word went out, and we told them why we did it, and it kind of sent a message that we were serious.
Yeah.
Because it goes from abundance, right? Abundance to, it happens so fast here. We went from abundance to, okay, you got to be careful on every call. And what was really interesting, guys, was the message I got back was people felt assured that we knew what we were doing and had a plan.
Right.
And so it let them know that we were serious, but they also felt assured that we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Good.
And so
that feels good because they're like, oh, great, I have a leader in charge of this.
You stepped up and you led. I mean, and honestly, I don't know if you really knew what you were doing. You're just reacting with a plan, practically, not a reaction. I mean, we all went through this in 2008, and we developed skills as business owners.
Yeah.
But in a way, you have to act like a leader, and what you did was real valuable. And I'm just reinforcing this because many other people are going through this. What do I do? What do I do? Step up and act like a leader. That's the first thing you got to do. And that sounds like that's exactly what you guys did.
Yeah.
So what about marketing? Did that change at all? Is everybody there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people are using this. Go ahead, Eric. You said, what was your question? We lost you.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm up in the mountains of Utah. So sorry. No, I said, what about marketing? What, did anything change there for you guys?
Yeah, right away I put out, well, not, kind of, we put out a video right away. I made a 2-minute video explaining we're still here, we care, we're being safe, we're taking care of these precautions, and we're an essential service. We're going to be here to serve. Toilets, water heaters, all that stuff doesn't know there's a virus.
Right.
So we're still here to serve. I did it for both companies. I did a 2-minute video. I have a guy that I use for our social media. We're pretty strong on social media. And so when he came on Wednesday, I says, hey, we got to make this video. This is why. And so that's what we did. And so we had 2 videos, one for both companies, and we've been pushing those out on LinkedIn, Facebook,
Sure.
Instagram.
Yeah, I've seen those. They're really good. And then what about, like, are people starting to have you in because almost they're home so much more that there are more service issues? I mean, is that happening too?
Kind of, yeah. The calls are, so the calls did pick up, right? Those first 2 days were really tough, right? And then it kind of eased up a little bit, and it's kind of been sporadic. Our guys have work every day. Like, we don't have guys sitting at home with nothing to do. But like yesterday or the day before, when the governor had not made, there was rumor that he was going to make an announcement that there's a lockdown. And that kind of seemed like a really slow day. It just felt like everybody was waiting for that to happen.
Right.
And the phone didn't ring much. And then it kind of eased up. And then now, just yesterday at midnight, it went out that no, not even construction can be in operation right now, only service and repair companies. And so that kind of seemed to cause a little lull as well. But what I asked our CSRs what they're hearing, and customers are saying, well, I'm stuck at home and I might as well get this done, right? And so, like, Boeing got laid off, so that's like 60,000 employees or something like that with pay.
Wow.
Right. You got all these
They're
people
definitely going to be having you in.
Yeah, with pay.
So then are they asking what you're doing to protect them as your guys come? Because I think that would be my question. Like, I would want you to come and do the work, but, you know, how do I know who's coming in and how you're going to protect me and my family?
Yeah, so we're being flexible on that. Like, it's really interesting. So we're ready with everything. I handed out masks and gloves, and we got all the stuff. And different customers are different. Some people are like, come on in. No, that's bullshit or whatever, right? They just, whatever, come on in. And so we still come in with our gloves and our mask, and we're careful. But other people are completely freaked out. Like, stand over there.
Yeah.
And
sure.
so we've coached our guys to be flexible. Like we're taking universal precautions.
Yeah.
But every customer's different. And so some people don't want to touch our iPad. You touch it. Like, okay, so is this the option that you want? Okay, we'll press the button for you.
Right.
And others are not, we wipe it down for them. We've got alcohol cloths, wipes,
Sure.
and then they use it. So
Now,
we've been flexible with that. And we run into people that are so scared. I think we're servicing a lady this morning finally that she had a leak that was actually leaking, but they were terrified to have someone to their house.
Yeah.
And
What
so
about you?
finally, I think we're going out today.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What about your guys on the other side? Are your guys worried about going into homes? Are
No.
they have, okay, well, that's good.
They're plumbers, man.
Well, I've had to caution them, like, hey, this is different. Like one thing I do is I still do laundry. Like I'm here in the office, and so we have apprentices and stuff do it. But especially now that there's no one coming to the office, just one at a time here and there, I'm doing laundry. My hands are in it every day.
Oh, yes, you got to be careful yourself then as well.
Yeah, but I told the guys this is a new virus, so we don't maybe have the immune for this virus. So don't beat your chest. This is a new thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what do you think that, I'm happy to hear that you're saying that people are still saying, come do work, because I would think where you are, people having seen what's happened would be, way on high alert and not want anybody to come. So what do you think the mindset collectively is up there about how to cope with this new normal or this situation? I mean, how are people reacting just in general?
it feels like it's tougher. Like I sent a message out. We use the Marco Polo app, so I communicate with all my guys through it's like a text, a video text. And so I put a word out 2 days ago. It seemed like as news comes out, it's always changing.
Yeah,
and it seemed like
hourly.
more contagious and more serious and more people dying. And so I just put a word out there because there was some kind of casualties. The guys are kind of joking around and, hitting elbows and kicking feet. And I'm like, hey guys, there's a sentiment has changed and people are more fearful and more afraid and more cautious. And so if you show up joking around, it's not going to go over well.
No.
And so take a deep breath, calm down, and make sure that you mirror your customer. And you're going to run into more people that are more afraid, including my wife. So I just brought it home and said, got to calm down, and this is serious. And whether you think it is or not, your customer does. And if you come off as joking around about it, it's not going to go over well.
Yeah, no, not at all. And that's, Larry and I talk all the time about how important it is to, you've seen, I think, our morning tech videos, it isn't about what you feel as the technician. It's about what your customer feels. So I love what you said when you said you have to mimic your customer. You do, you have to be cognizant as a field service technician that you're behaving in a way that they feel is correct and acceptable. And that can be taught, and that's what you're doing. And that's what you're doing though.
It sure can. Yeah.
You're leading them.
It's back to the theater of business where you have to, create that theater for them, that you're doing all the things you possibly can for them. And the techs have to make the client comfortable as they're performing per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think,
go ahead. Sorry.
I think one of my biggest fears since 2008 was all these young techs out there have not gone through a tough time, right? There's always been abundance. And so probably every 6 months I'll have a meeting about that.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Put some money
here we
away.
are.
You ready?
Don't be worried about getting back to normal. What if this is the new normal? What if there is only 2 calls or 1 call a day?
Right. Yeah.
So don't wish it was different. Wish you were better, right? And get better.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. No, that's a good point.
So Dennis, we don't want to take your whole day. We know you're a busy guy running 2 plumbing companies, but
and doing laundry.
Just doing laundry. in summary, for a lot of parts of the country that haven't experienced this yet like you have, and by the looks of it, probably will. What
Yeah.
would you say to those other guys who own electrical companies, plumbing companies, carpet cleaners? Like, what would you say to them if you were talking to them directly to help them prepare for this, for what you've already had to be and are currently going through?
I'd say if there is personal protective equipment, get it now, if it's still out there. Hand it out. I think it's really important to let these guys know what's important, and okay, you may not care, because a lot of these guys feel strong and Superman and they don't need it.
They're young.
Yeah, they're young. It doesn't affect the young, right? And so this, maybe it is for you, but if you don't care about it, your customer does. So still use it and mirror your customer and care. And then the biggest thing is, as far as the sales piece, there's no more abundance of calls. So they didn't have you out for fun. Like some people feel like they're risking their life to have you come out.
Yeah.
So don't just go and throw a quote out there and they don't like it and take off. Figure it out and serve your community.
Right.
And it's not so much about, some guys really get into the sales piece of it. We really try not to do that. We really try to give options and let people buy from us. But more than ever, if they don't buy, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're just making people more sick or exposing more people. So
yeah,
figure it out, come up with an option that works for them. Make the call count for some.
Good sales piece.
Larry and
well.
I know that from, going through the recession, when
Yeah.
we go out and do bids, every single one was important because you didn't know when the next bid was going to be.
Right.
So you want to get some work,
Absolutely.
They've had you into the house, so you better make something happen. Right.
Exactly. Totally.
Yeah.
I like your sales technique to say, listen, you don't want to spread the virus by having more people come in here. Let's just do this.
Absolutely.
Because that's a socially responsible response.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Which is
Yeah.
good.
All right.
Right on.
Well, Dennis, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. That was really interesting because I think it's giving people some insight into what their future might look like down the road, and hopefully that will help them.
Very good. And this will someday be a story that we tell.
Yes, exactly. We're looking forward to it.
Let's hope. All right. Thanks a lot.
Take
Awesome.
care.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
See ya.